Discussing about data types. In computer, different data types are stored differently. So that's why we have to just understand and we have to tell the computer and we have to just make it clear for computer that the thing that I'm entering or just I'm saving inside this variable or constant, what data type is it? Okay. Is it an integer? Okay, a whole number without fractions, 42 or -7 or just 0 or anything. Is it a real number, numbers with decimal places, 3.14 or -0.99? Okay, any kind of decimal points. Is it Boolean? Okay, Boolean simply stores logical truth values inside it. It means true or false. Characters, a single alpha numeric symbol, okay, for example a, or the character question mark, or the character 2, okay, so just that is character. And a string is a sequence of characters, okay, so there are different data types that we can store inside variables, okay. Examiner alert, okay, for your exam there's one thing, okay, use the exact term real for your pseudocodes and things like that, okay. Do not write float or double in your exam, as they are language specific, okay. For example, in Python we just say float, okay, but overall the main thing about the decimal point numbers, that is real, okay. So use real instead, not float or double, okay. Then after that we are just discussing, we are going to discuss about coercion, okay, data type casting. Simply it means changing data type of a value from one to another. Right now it is a string, I want to change it to number. Right now it's number, I want to change it to string. It is real, I want to change it to integer or things like that, okay. And changing these data types happens in two different ways, okay. We have gotten two types of coercion. The first one is automatic or implicit. This is when computer changes the data, okay, the data type, without any instruction from the programmer. You do not say it, but computer does that, okay. Then the next one is manual or explicit coercion. Here, programmer forces a data type change. Okay, programmer tells the computer, yeah, this value, whatever it is, change it to integer or change it to Boolean or things like that. And when does automatic type coercion or type casting happen? Okay, mostly that happens in mixed mode arithmetics. So when you're just performing operations on different data types, okay, as in the background in the computer, operations are not possible to be done on different data types, so they have to be the same. So what does computer do, or what does your programming language do? It just simply changes the data types, okay, to the one which is most precise, okay. For example, 3 and 3.5, so 3.2, so real is more precise, okay. That does not store just the decimal points, but it does. So simply, if you're just doing something like this, you're adding an integer and a real number together, so simply compiler changes integer to real, so that will be 3.0, and after that, yeah, 3.0, two reals will be added together and it will just generate into another real number, okay. Always identify the most precise type in an expression to predict the final data type of the result, because the automatic coercions, okay, always the less precise data type is changed to the most precise data type, okay. So you have to know. Then string coercion and concatenation. If you want to concatenate or just combine a string with a non-string value, okay, so you might face errors, so you have to just know that, okay. And the sign for concatenation in flowchart is the ampersand, okay. So we have gotten set age to 18, and after the send friend, concatenate that with age to display, okay. So here what happens, computer changes 18, which is a number right now, to a string, then after that, yeah, it will just give you Fred 18. So when concatenating different data types with ampersand or with concatenation, always remember that the non-string value is first converted to a string before they are joined. So 18 will be just converted to a string, then yeah, two strings will be joined together. Now, explicit coercion or forcing a type change, okay, that is when computer or when the programmer tells computer to change data type of anything. So sometimes we must manually force a data type to change. This is critical during user input. For example, in many programming languages, user input is always behaving as integers. Okay, inputs are always entered inside the program as strings, okay, or as text. So simply, if you want to be able to perform mathematical operations on them, you have to change them to numbers. Okay. So see here in the input, we have just written receive age from keyboard, but before that we have written integer. Simply here we are telling the computer to just the input that you are taking, change it to integer, then store inside age. Okay, so that is something like that. When user enters, for example, 45, it is entered as a string 45. Okay, then yeah, it is changed to integer, and after that. Stored inside the variable age. Clear? So that is explicit coercion. And representing coercion in flowchart, how does or how should we represent coercion or typecasting in flowcharts? Okay, so simple. See here, input user age text. We have just taken that, and after that, see that is input. That is parallelogram. But after that, inside one rectangle, which is for process, we are just writing something like this: user age number equals, or just assign this to that. Okay, user age text int. Okay, see this int, simply it means change user age text to int to integer, and then after that store it inside user age number. Okay, so that is how you represent coercion in flowcharts. If you were asked about this, you have to just know. Okay, so remember, inputs belong in a slanted parallelogram. Any internal type conversion or calculation is an action, meaning it must sit in a rectangular process box. Okay, do not forget that. Then here we have gotten some exam success tips for you, which is very important. Okay, you should just pay attention to them. Okay, so see, the first one is spec specific terminologies. Always write real for decimal numbers. Stating float or double might lose you marks depending on the question's strictness. Okay, so when you are told to write pseudocodes, you have to follow the rules of pseudocode. Okay, so set price to 19.99, and that is just real. Okay, so use that. Then ruthless consistency. You have to be ruthlessly consistent. It means about the usernames, about just anything. Okay, you won't be penalized for choosing camel case or snake case. You can choose any one of them, but you will lose marks if you mix them randomly or switch capitalization halfway. Okay, through a trace table. So see, camel case, that is just correct. Snake case, this one is also correct. You can select any one of them, but mixed username, then after that, yeah, underscore one. This is just where you have mixed camel case and snake case. Avoid this. Okay, this might result in you losing some marks. Okay, and also whatever convention you just selected, try to just use the same convention through all your exams. Then the initialization trap. Okay, never assume a variable starts at 0. Okay, whenever you're just whenever you want to use any variable, first set that to 0. Okay, so for example, here I want to use total and I want to just store numbers inside that. So first you have to set it to 0 if it needs to be 0. Okay, so initialization is very important. If you are creating a running total, you must explicitly set total to 0 before entering your loop. Clear? So that is very important. Many students lose marks because of that. So you have to just know. And the practice zone, some questions are there. Okay, read the questions and guess the answer. Okay, so the first one is state the exact difference between a variable and a constant in EDXL pseudocode. So see, a variable's value can change during runtime. A constant's value is set once and locked. Okay. Or another question, state the data type required for a variable storing the distance 24.0. Justify your answer. Okay, so simply that is real. Again, in our justification is it is a number containing a decimal place. Okay, so that is a decimal place, so it has to be real. And another question, write an EDXL pseudocode statement to receive a user's height from the keyboard, ensuring it is explicitly treated as decimal number. So say decimal number, that is real. So receive height from keyboard, and before that, yeah, we have to write real here, which simply means it should be changed to decimal. Okay, that's it. Wish you all the best. See you in the next video. Do not forget to like and subscribe us. Introduce us with your friends. Okay, wish you all the best. Good luck and goodbye.